Hey everybody, welcome to Inspire Your Success podcast. My name is Michael Leonard, former corporate zombie turned lifestyle entrepreneur. I'm on a mission to inspire millions of people to stop settling for average and create the life that you deserve. Each week, I'll be bringing on world-class experts, entrepreneurs, and high achievers to give you the inspiration to take massive action. I'm confident these successful people will give you the spark to create an epic life and business. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Here's your episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to Inspire Your Success. And again, appreciate you being here. Hopefully you're having a great start to March. Again, the year seems to just keep going by faster and faster. So I hope you are well on your way to achieving some of those goals that you have, both in your personal and business life. And as always, if there's anything I can do, please let me know. On today's solo episode, I want to share with you an experience that I had in my life that I think can really change your life because it, to be honest with you, was one of the biggest catalysts for change that I've ever done, and it really set me off on a different path for entrepreneurship and personal development. And to be honest with you, I'm not even sure if I would have this podcast or this blog if it wasn't because of it. And again, it's something that I think that you can do as well, just because I've had several guests talk about this as well. So what I want to talk to you today is about the power of attending seminars, and really specifically the 4-day Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within event. If you've listened to any of the other podcasts, I know Michael Zeller, one of my favorite guests, talks a lot about how many seminars he's attended. He said he's been to over 100 in his life. And then another great story that I got to have and share with you guys is Brendan Burns. And Brendan was a Wall Street guy, and then is now a life coach, business coach. But he talks about how an Unleash the Power Within, a Tony Robbins event, really altered the course of his life and put him on the direction that he is now. And so it's just one of those things where I had a very similar experience back in March of 2017. So kind of coming up on that 2-year anniversary of it. And just wanted to share with you some of the things that really happened and how it affected my life, and some of the lessons that you can take into your life. And again, just if you're thinking about maybe attending a seminar this year, or specifically learning from Tony Robbins or someone else, I just want to share with you some of the things that I took away with it, because again, there were some massive shifts in my life, and it really hasn't been the same since, and it's all been positive. So very, very happy. And again, it got me here to where I'm here sharing this content with you, so that I am very grateful for. So basically, when I first learned about Tony Robbins was through just motivational videos on YouTube back in 2015, 2016. I was kind of looking for more in life. If you listen to my first episode about why I quit my six-figure job, I talk a lot about how I was feeling empty. I was feeling like there was more to life, that I was tired of going through the motions, that I was feeling like kind of a corporate zombie, and I was scared one day I'd wake up and I never went after my goals and dreams. And it was at that time when, like so many people, you go onto YouTube, go onto Google, and you start trying to find resources, find people that are out there to try and help you change your life. And really what happened with that is I went to a 1-day event here in Phoenix, Arizona. There was 5 different speakers, and Tony Robbins was the end of it. And it was at that time I really saw, like, man, this guy can help me shift my focus and really help me think differently. And if you want different results in life, you obviously have to do different actions. You have to think different thoughts. And it was at that time where I was like, wow, this is powerful. And so I went to my first one. It was, again, a 1-day event in February of 2016. And I continued to really go hard with personal development in 2016. And at that time, I was planning to escape my 9-to-5. And it was actually not until about February of the following year where I thought about attending a full 4-day event. But again, I was a little nervous. I was a little scared. I was like, man, this is 4 days. What are we going to be doing? Like, this is a lot of time. Money-wise, I think it was about $800 for 4 days. So it wasn't like a ton of money for how much value you're getting. But then there was the flight and the hotel out to LA. So it was all those things. But at the time, again, I was really close to putting in my notice at my 9-to-5, and I was going through kind of an identity crisis where I felt like, man, I really need to figure out, like, what am I going to do? Can I do this? Do I believe in myself enough to bet on myself on entrepreneurship? And it was at that time where I said, you know what, $800, let's do it. And I remember booking it. My girlfriend was very supportive and was like, hey, just go out there and do it. Like, this is what you want. This is going to be the catalyst that you need. And man, it was a really great event. Again, I booked it about a month in advance. And then I basically took a few days off work and flew out there Thursday morning. It was a Thursday to Sunday event. I got out there super early. I think I got at the airport at like 5 a.m., flew out there. And the funny thing is that a great experience happened on the way there that I think kind of made me realize that I was definitely supposed to be there at that time. And I just bought Tony's new book at the time, Unshakable, all about creating financial freedom in your life. And I was really excited to read it. And I ended up reading a little bit of it on the plane. I was only an hour flight. So as I got there in the Uber, I was super excited. I was pumped up. And the Uber immediately asked me, what I was doing here, where I was going. And I let him know that I was attending a Tony Robbins event and that I was going to walk on fire and go through all this transformational change. And the guy almost stopped the car. He was so jealous. He was so excited for me. And he even said, man, I don't know what they do there, but I've dealt and picked up with people that came directly from the event, and I've never seen people so excited and so positive and optimistic and ready to really change their life. And he was just a very, very good guy. And we ended up talking for about 40 minutes on the way there. And he talked about how he'd, going through some tough times, but he's staying positive and he's listening to different motivational tapes and CDs and YouTube and reading books. And he's really trying. He was trying to support his family, trying to help his kids out and all this. And it was just a really inspiring story. And I asked him if he had read Tony's latest book. And he said, no, I haven't. I really want to, though. I've heard it's great. And as soon as I was getting out of the Uber, I was like, well, this is just a great time to give back. So I had this brand new book. Again, I barely read any of it, and I ended up giving it to him. And he was so appreciative. He got out of the car, shook my hand, said, thank you so much. Like, it's people like you that are really going to help the world, and I just want to say thanks again. So I was just in a really happy, good place getting started. I was very proud of my decisions. It felt good to give back. And again, it was like $15, $20 book. And it was just one of those things, though, that could have a massive impact on that guy's life. And he was just really kind of got me excited. And as soon as I walked into registration, you're instantly bombarded with people giving you high fives and just super excited. The energy is really unlike anything I've experienced. And as soon as I checked in, got my registration packet and everything, naturally there was a copy of the book. They were giving books away to everyone that was attending the seminar. So even though I just gave mine away, I instantly got mine back. So it was just one of those things where it felt really cool to give. And I think karma got me and helped me out really quick. So it was just very exciting, and really the next 4 days was unlike anything I've experienced. Went through a lot of personal growth in that time. I won't really get too specific into all the different things that you do, just because there's so much content that you go through. But basically, if you are thinking about attending, it is a 4-day event. You go through. Basically, the first day is from about noon, and we went all the way until about midnight, maybe even a little later. It was a crazy day. There was 10,000 people there, from people from about 50 different countries, and everyone's there on a mission to better their lives. So it's one of those things that you just can't really find that when you go to the bars or coffee shops or even local networking events. I mean, these people are spending a good amount of money. They're traveling from all over the world to better their lives. So you know that you're pretty much sitting next to people that are going to help you and are just positive. And I can't speak again enough of how important it is to surround yourself with people that are doing what you want to do and ones that really inspire your own success. So that was really cool. And then the first night, if you've really heard anything about Tony Robbins, he always has you walk on fire. So you actually walk on hot coals on that first night. To really show you that anything's possible and that your feet aren't going to get burned, but really it just shows you that if you can walk on fire, what else can you do in your life that you're probably not giving yourself credit for, or you just say is impossible or can't be done. And it was one of those things where it was pretty crazy. I mean, we literally left the arena, walked a few blocks. They had probably 100 different fire pits set up, and all the volunteers and people there. And you literally get taught in the seminar how to do it, where to look, how to think, and all these things. And sure enough, walked through the fire. Immense amount of just. I guess excitement and kind of grateful that I was there. I mean, it was the middle of the night. You're walking on fire. People were probably thinking you're a bunch of crazy people. But it was one of those things where we're all walking with all these strangers. You're doing these things, and it would normally seem pretty weird, but everyone was so excited and so happy and so, really supportive of one another. And it's really when I realized that you just don't get that enough in life. We're stuck so many times around coworkers and, maybe even family and some friends that just are going through the motions of life. They're mediocre. They're whining. They're sitting around gossiping or thinking negative thoughts and projecting them outwardly and all this stuff that it's really hard sometimes to get ahead. But this event really showed me that you need to surround yourself with the right people to get those results, but also really just how important it is to kind of stay in a peak state. And I'll talk about that more in just a minute. But again, it was so cool. I ended up doing it. It was about a 12-hour day the first day. We go back the next day at about 9. I think we went till about 8 or 9 that night. A really, really good day. And then the third day, Saturday, was insane. I mean, it was a long day, but that's kind of what you need to do sometimes to create massive change in your life is you need to have an immersive experience. And Tony talks about that a lot. He says, if you're going to learn a new language and you have two options, you can either take a class and learn an hour a day, a few days a week, and then after a few years, you might kind of understand the language. But if you're like me, I took Spanish in high school, French in college. I don't remember anything from that, even though I got A's and B's. But instead, you could do the other option, which is go to the country and speak where they speak the language you want to learn and live there. You immerse yourself in an environment that cultivates change. And it was at that time where I realized that even though these are long days, the time flew by. These are 12 to 15-hour days. It would have taken weeks, it felt like, for that time to pass at a traditional job. So it was one of those things where I realized the power of really immersing yourself to try and change your identity, to try and get really lasting change. And that third day was very powerful. We went through a lot of exercises, getting clear about what you want, what's been holding you back. You have different speakers and guests. Tony does most of it. This guy goes for 12 hours pretty much, just jumping around, so excited, trying to help 10,000 people. I've really never seen an energy like it from anyone else. So if anything, that guy just really inspired me to try and do more and to give more and help others because he has such a inspirational story there. So, that was really fun on that third day. And then the fourth day was all about health, nutrition, and wellness. And I had to duck out a little early to catch my flight. But at the end of the day, it was one of those things where I was so grateful that I did it, and I felt like I learned so much. I was so proud of myself. I met people. It was just a very, very cool experience. And I, again, just realized that there is so much power in attending seminars, getting out of your box, meeting new people. And I ended up going by myself. And I think that's one of those things that a lot of people would be intimidated by. But at the end of the day, sometimes you need to get out of your comfort zone, meet strangers, and really just get into a new environment to create new changes. So here are some of the biggest lessons that I learned from it, just so if you're looking for some more tangible takeaways from the episode, I think this can really help. And the first one is really that training never stops. If you think about it, we're kind of programmed to go to school, go to college, and then for the most part, education after that's up to you. And unfortunately, in my opinion, the education system is basically makes you hate learning. And that sucks because all the most successful people in the world are constantly learning. They're reading books, going to events, they're just learning from other people in all these different ways. And unfortunately, I personally was programmed to hate learning by the time I finished school. I really didn't read. I didn't want to learn because I associated learning with learning about things that didn't really matter. And it's very clear that that's not the case, and that at this point, as an adult, you can choose to learn about anything you want in your life. And the most successful people in the world, again, are always learning. Warren Buffett reads 80% of his day, and Bill Gates reads a book a week. All these people are always trying to get better. And that's one of the things I realized with the Tony Robbins event is that just because I went to one seminar doesn't mean that's going to be it forever. I need to always be learning. You need to always evolve and try and grow. So that way you can try and give and contribute more. So again, one thing I just want to say is that training never stops in any area of your life. As Mark Twain always said, don't let schooling interfere with your education. So the second thing I learned really was to focus on your state. I think that a lot of people probably don't understand the importance of what state you're in on a regular basis because Basically, positive thinking. Tony Robbins is actually very against positive thinking. He says positive thinking doesn't work. It's really how you use your body and your language to create the kind of change that you want. And so while thinking positive can help, if you're, slouched over and, thinking negative thoughts and all these things, and you don't really have the body language that shows that you're optimistic or confident or whatever you're trying to achieve, it's going to be really hard. So Tony always says to get into a peak state as frequently as you can. And he actually does this before he goes on stage by jumping on a mini trampoline, a rebounder, and just helps get the blood moving. And he says that most people can do that. I actually have one in my office as well. Just to kind of jump around sometimes, get the blood moving, get that body going a little bit, because most of us are not active enough. We're sitting around, we're watching TV, an average of 4.3 hours a day. People are working 8 to 10 hours a day, and then you have commutes. I mean, we're sitting down, we're very sedentary at this point. So it's important to change your physiology if you're not where you want to be. I mean, think about walking with your chin up, get your chest out, really try and just get some exercise sometimes. Focus on your breathing. Like how are your breathing and your activity levels really affecting your emotions? That can have a big part of it. And another thing Tony talks about to help you get in a peak state is to change your language, because your brain is always listening to what you say, both internally and what you say to other people. So choose your words wisely and be very aware of the questions and statements that you're asking and telling yourself. And lastly, he says to, again, focus on your attention. He says, focus goes where energy flows. So don't focus on the problems, focus on the solutions. And again, use these tips to change your state so that way you can really be in a better mood throughout the day, but also that better mood can create better thoughts, which can help you take better actions and help you get closer to what you're trying to achieve in life. Another thing Tony really talks about is the importance of mastering your mornings. And I'm sure you've heard this as a constant theme with pretty much every guest I've had on the show, and a lot of my solo episodes, is that if you win the morning, you win the day. And again, everyone has different routines. It's not that you need to wake up at 4 a.m. and meditate for 60 minutes and then do something else for an hour. Like, it's not anything that needs to be that intensive. Tony Robbins is a freak. I mean, this guy's so busy all the time. He has to have everything down to like an exact science. And he has it to where he has basically a 10-minute routine where he focuses on 3 things he's grateful for, spends a minute on each of those. Then he thinks about 3 things that he wants to create in his life, and he envisions those goals as already being complete. So he's, again, tapping into the power of visualization. And then after that, he does a breath of fire. And if you've ever done any type of yoga, that's a pretty common thing there. But it's basically 3 sets of 30 seconds where he does different breathing techniques to, again, change his physiology and then help get that blood flowing and really start his day. And then after that, he does a quick workout and a cold plunge in one of his houses that he has as well. So, again, mastering your mornings. How can you master your mornings? Like, think about that. And if you want some more information on how to master your mornings, again, make sure to take a look at my Win the Morning course, where I really give you the exact strategies and tactics to implement a new morning routine into your life, to create more time for your goals, and to find some habits that can actually help you achieve what you want in life. Because morning routines personally have changed my life. I've been doing them for about 18 months now, maybe a little bit more. And again, I'm always evolving, always sharing. So the course has a lot in it to help you achieve that success. So take a look at that in the show notes. All right, so just a couple more little lessons here I learned from the event is that, as Tony always says, success leaves clues. So chances are, whatever you want to achieve, someone has already done it in some capacity or another. Unless you're Elon Musk sending a car into space and trying to get it onto Mars, you're pretty much going after something that other people have done. Whether it's losing weight or building a business, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. And I think that it's really easy for a lot of us to get into the habit of thinking that we have to try it on our own and do it our own way. But at the end of the day, if you want to lose 30 pounds, find someone that's already lost 30 pounds and kept the weight off and done it in a sustainable and safe way, and go figure out from them. Go learn from them. If someone's built a business, go and take their course on how they built their business, or hire them for coaching. Like, that's how I've done it. I wanted to start a podcast, so I went to a podcaster who has done in-person interviews with some of the biggest names, in the world, and I just learned from him, and I sped this process of success up a lot. And I've done that in a lot of other areas. So find a coach, a mentor, just someone that's a friend that's done what you want to do, and learn from them, because again, success always leaves clues. All right, so just a couple more that I really think are going to help you is that progress equals happiness. I really love this lesson. Whether you're $30,000 in debt or worth $1 million, people want to feel like they're progressing in life. There's really not much worse than feeling stuck, stagnant, as is. And that's really why I left my 9-to-5 and why I became kind of the person that I am now, is because I just got so tired of doing the same thing and living the same week, month, and year over and over again. So again, remember that the human brain, it wants to make progress. It's a goal-seeking mechanism. So you can't let others really depend on your happiness. It has to start on what you want to do with your life. And it's about you creating a plan and then making progress to it. Chances are you've probably already done this and realized it in your life. Think about the last time that you achieved a massive goal and you were so excited about it. Now, was the goal more exciting, or was it actually seeing the progress along the way? Personally, for me, it's seeing the progress, because once you hit the goal, then you're already thinking about the next goal. And you're as humans, very easy to not celebrate our wins enough and kind of think on to the next one. But when you're seeing progress, whether it's losing that pound or making that first dollar in your business, things like that can be very, very addicting and in a great way, and really help you achieve your goals. So never forget that progress equals happiness. All right, and then the last lesson that I really want to take from this is that you're doing all this growth, you're going through whatever you're going through, so that way, again, you can achieve the life that you want. And Tony Robbins talks a lot about fulfillment and the importance of not actually seeking success, really, but seeking fulfillment. And he talks, in the seminar, he had a very, very powerful moment where he talked about, how some people don't focus on fulfillment. And that's why people that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars are addicted to drugs and commit suicide, and even billionaires sometimes. And he gave a very, very chilling speech, really, about Robin Williams as a very, very good example. And he said that, this guy's making everyone else happy, but at the end of the day, he hung himself with his family in the house. And it's just one of those things. It's like, you think this guy has it all together. All he did, though, his entire life was focus on fulfilling others, and he wasn't focused on fulfilling himself. So again, I know that's kind of negative, kind of deep, but I want to really help you try and understand that success is great, but make sure that you are fulfilling your dreams, your goals, your life's work, because at the end of the day, you're going through what you're going through, so that way you can really find success, so that way you can hopefully be happy, but then also give that success back. And as Tony always says, the secret to living is giving. And the reason you should focus on this is so that you can grow, so then you can give back. You can help other people along the way. I mean, look at the most successful people in the world that are hundreds of millionaires and billionaires. A lot of them are very happy because they do contribute, and they are such huge philanthropists. So it's one of those things where you just need to focus on fulfillment, not always success, so that way you can grow and give. So hopefully that was a powerful episode for you. If you're thinking about going to a Tony Robbins event, you have my 100% backing. I think it was one of the best things I ever did. Again, just because it opened up doors to what's possible. It taught me a lot about goal setting, getting out of my own way, subconscious beliefs, really successful habits, and I mean, so much more. It was a 96-hour event, so I couldn't cover it all here if I tried. But again, if you're thinking about it, just do it. It's worth it. You're going to change up your environment. You're going to meet new people, and you just never know with one idea or one new person how your life can change forever. So if you have any questions on it, or aren't really sure, or just want to learn some more, always hit me up. You can email me directly, michael@inspireyoursuccess.com. And if you want to read my full review on my website, make sure to take a look at the link in the bio where I will have this episode, where I will have this review, and then I'll have the Win the Morning course and a few of Tony Robbins' books that I think can really help you change your life. So thank you again for being here. As always, I really appreciate it. And have a great rest of the week. And as always, I hope you have an epic day. Thanks for listening to Inspire Your Success podcast with Michael Leonard. If you like this show and want to learn more, check out inspireyoursuccess.com/podcast. Also, please leave us a review on iTunes to let us know how we're doing. Join us next week for more tips and tools to help you create the life you deserve.